Week 4 Audio Cultures. This is the second of two parts of our content for audio cultures this week. In this part, I'll talk about approaches to completing your essay. Your first assessment in this subject is a writing task in which you are required to use the set course readings and other appropriate audio or media sources to develop an analysis of the issues relating to audio cultures presented in the subject. There are lots of great topics to consider, but your challenge is to specifically include an aspect of an Indigenous cultural perspective. Your essay should be supported by at least 3 sources from the reading list, as well as references to audio materials to anchor your argument in concrete examples of audio culture. To help structure your essay, you should attempt to identify a debate or issue and argue why this matters to audio culture. Once you come up with an idea for a topic, your first step will be to locate the literature that you will use to support your essay. Look first at the subject readings around the concepts you are interested in. Once your idea starts to take shape, the next step is to come up with a brief title that encapsulates your topic. A question often works well as a title, but you can choose other forms of title as well. Take, for example, these 2 approaches to an essay title. First, in question form. How prevalent are Indigenous languages in Australian pop charts, and why is language significant to Indigenous artists? That's the question form. And secondly, as a title, Indigenous Language in Australian Pop Charts, Its Significance and Prevalence. Both these forms of title work well. Now that you have a title, work out what the keywords are that you will need to focus your essay and literature search on. In this example, we have the following: Indigenous language in pop, or Indigenous pop music, pop charts, prevalence, and significance. When looking for links to your keywords in the subject readings, you can be quite creative. For example, you might guess that language is related to identity or politics. Any of the readings that touch on these points can be cited. For example, you might refer to the Hesmondhalgh reading like this. In his critical defense of music, David Hesmondhalgh asserts that music provides a basis for collective identity. It is therefore unsurprising that Indigenous musicians might employ their traditional languages to assert this identity in their creative work. This should give you the idea. When citing the text, include the author's name, the year of publication, and the page number from where the quote is extracted. Here I have directly quoted the author, but I could have paraphrased using some of the original words. Check the Faculty of Arts and Social Science Guide to the Writing of Presentation of Essays for more help with how to do this properly. Once you have mined the subject readings, you may choose to extend your research by looking for other references that are more targeted to your topic. Use your keywords to develop your search. Remember, in my example, I chose Indigenous pop, Indigenous language in pop, and pop music charts. We're also hoping to discuss the prevalence and significance of Indigenous language in pop. Use some of the keywords first to search the library catalogue. Here you can see the hits I found when searching Indigenous music. Notice here that I've placed this recent text on hip-hop in the Open Reserve section in the library, because I suspect there might be a few of you interested in this. If you want to go further in your research, I suggest using Google Scholar. Don't use the ordinary Google search engine, because it is engineered to return hits that it thinks you might be interested in. It is also mainly aimed at getting you to buy things, so it's not really a research tool. Scholar.google.com, on the other hand, is a real information and knowledge tool. Here are the results I get when searching Australian Indigenous pop music. Here's a journal article from 1993. Now, this might be considered out of date, but let's just use it as an example of what to do next. Yothu Yindi and Ganma, the cultural transposition of Aboriginal agenda through metaphor and music. This sounds hopeful. If I follow the link, it takes me to the Journal of Australian Studies webpage. If I follow the link to get access, it will ask me to pay for a copy of the article. We need to check to see if the UTS library subscribes to this journal. Let's use the search field on the library page to find out. Okay, there are several database sources covering different time periods. Let's choose the one that goes all the way back to 1993. We'll look for the year, issue, and page number. Here's the PDF. Let's quickly search it to see if it mentions language. Yes, there are a few references. This might be a good article to cite. If you don't know who Yothu Yindi are, you might go and check them out on YouTube. 3D, yeah. 3D now. 3D, yeah. 3D now. And perhaps even read up on them in Wikipedia. Continue searching until you feel that you've got enough relevant material. As you read, you might adapt your essay title and its focus to match the ideas you are reading about. That's fine if it results in a good essay. Each time you find a good reference, make a note of the author, year of publication, title of the article or chapter, title of the book or journal, page numbers of the article, name of the publisher, and the place of publication. You'll need to put all these details into your bibliography. You should also jot down a few notes about the content that is relevant to your essay, and copy down any good quotes or highlight them in the PDF. I recommend reading through the FAS Guide to the Writing and Presentation of Essays for more ideas on good essay writing. You only have 1,000 words, so it's not much space to get your ideas across. Make every word count. Map out your essay as a series of paragraphs on each key idea, plus one for an introduction and one for a conclusion. If you have 5 paragraphs, that's only 200 words each, so you might find yourself stripping out some ideas. If you do, make sure you adapt your title to suit. Here's the outline for my essay. There are a list of other resources in the weekly readings. I hope they prove useful. If you need more help, you might like to check out the UTS Helps program. Or, if you want to run an idea past me, please don't hesitate to get in touch. Good luck with your essay. That concludes this part of the lecture.